In this video, we are going to do the Arduino Blink LED circuit, and we'll be connecting it to the Arduino. We'll connect the Arduino to the computer, and we'll put all the connections on the breadboard. But before we do our connections, of course, we are preparing ourselves ready to program our first Blink LED program with our computer. We will go through a few things, and it's always good to have a circuit drawn down before you connect. That gives you a plan. So before I start drawing the circuit, we'll just recap some of the few things, and I just want to add some information on some of the things I didn't tell you. You remember we said that the LED normally has a long one long pin and one short pin, and we said the long pin is always the positive, goes to the positive side, and the short pin goes to the negative side. That's just a drawing. That's not a symbol. So I didn't mention or show you the symbol for the LED. Remember, LED in full is light emitting diode, which means LED is a type of a diode. It's not the same as the protection or the power diode we used before, but it's just a type of a diode. So with this type of diode, its symbol is normally put like this. So of course I'm going to put the positive side to the side, and the negative side, we always said the negative side is the side with the bar. So the difference of the LED with the power diode, the LED, since it's a light emitting diode, it has some two arrows like this pointing outside, and those two arrows just say that the LED gives out light. So this is the symbol of an LED. So in a circuit, if you see a circuit having a symbol like this, just know that symbol means an LED is connected to that point. So this is the symbol. Now, just to make sure that we are at the same page, I'm now going to draw now the power diode. The power diode is as simple as this. So the power diode is just connected just this way. Again, this one is the positive, this is the negative. So you can call that protection or a power diode. Protection or power diode. So, and this is the diode that we said if it's used for protection, it's normally connect in a reverse in a reverse order, and this one for the LED is normally connect in a normal order. We normally call it forward bias. So in forward bias, the positive side always goes to the positive side of the battery or the power source, and the negative side goes to the negative side of the power source. So for this one, we do something called a forward bias. That is called a forward bias. So for this other one, the latter one, so for this one, depending on the work it's doing, if it's doing protection and it's just protecting our equipments from the reverse current, we normally connect it in a reverse bias. Reverse bias meaning the positive side will be connected to the negative side of the thing we are protecting, and the negative side will be connected to the positive side of the thing that we are protecting. We don't want it to be blown apart. So that is called reverse bias in electronics. If you hear anyone mention those things, just know those are the terms that are being used. Yeah, so I know that was quite a lot, but you have now understood. If you see this symbol, just know this is an LED I have drawn. This is an LED. Light emitting diode, so it's just a type of a diode that emits light, and that's why we put some arrows there showing that it will emit light. So let's go to the next thing, and the next thing is just coming up with the circuit. And this circuit we will be using an Arduino. As you see, we'll be using something like this. So, and by using an Arduino, we'll be tapping the power from pin number 13. So we will be assuming that our pin number 13, as you can see here, we'll be assuming this pin number 13 is our voltage pin. So we'll be using these two pins. We'll be using pin number 13 and the G and D, which is the ground pin. Okay, let us draw. Remember, you said it's always good to plan, and by planning you come up with diagrams which will guide you in coming up with a circuit. So let's draw our Arduino. Our Arduino looks like this. So this is our Arduino, and we've just seen our Arduino is having here a GND pin, and it's having just close to it 13 digital 13 pin. Those are the only two pins we're going to use in our Arduino. So the 13 pin, it will be the pin which will be giving us the positive volts, and our GND, and we will program it to give us voltage in such a way that it will be giving voltage, cutting the voltage, giving voltage, cutting the voltage. And by doing that, we'll be able to blink our LED by giving and not giving the voltage. So those are the only two pins we're going to use. So after putting it like that, we are going to the next part. The next part we want this one. The power will come from here. After coming from there, the current, it will pass through a resistor first. Remember, we said we always use a resistor so that we can we don't blow up our LED. So after passing through a resistor, it will now head direct to the long side of our LED, to the long pin, which is the positive pin. So this time round, we are not using the LED itself. We want to do it professionally in electronics, and that's how I'll expect you guys to be drawing your symbols. We are going to use our symbols, the symbol for LED. The positive side is this side, because the negative side, we've always said, is the side with the band. So like this. So that's our LED. And just to make sure that you guys don't forget, with this LED we say this is the long side, this is the short side, so that you'll just know that's our LED. After going through our LED, we now, the negative side of our LED, of course, we want that side to LED extend a little bit like this. So the negative side of our LED will now automatically go to the ground. So do something like that and have it straight like that. So when we name our components, remember we said the resistance is normally measured and it has a value. So the resistance we are using for this specific LED, we are going to use a resistor of 330 ohms. And so this one is a resistor, and this one is an LED. And as we have been saying again and again, this is how the current moves. Current always comes from the positive side, flows and goes back to the ground. So that is the circuit we are going to make right now. So we'll head to the circuit right away and just have it put down. We're going to move this one the side a little bit so that we follow our circuit. So when that one is there, we'll use this one. That's called an Arduino Uno. That's what we are using. We will also use this. That one is called breadboard. We have used it before. So and we are going to use this one. You know what that is. This one is an LED. And lastly, we're going to use this. This one is our resistor. Connecting them together, of course, we will be using these types of connections. And these ones, you just know they're called jumper wires. So let's start from pin number 13. So pin number 13, because it's it's a voltage, we always use colors. So let's use this color. Always count if you're not sure. So we can count from here. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. That's our 13 pin. We take number 13. We are going to use, let's connect it to pin number 1. Anything along this line will be connected to number 1. So let's do 1G, somewhere like there. Anything along that line is connected to pin, to number 1. So after that, where are we going next? We are going to our resistor. So our resistor, we're just picking in the same line. This line which has number 1. This vertical line having number 1. So it will be connected internally. So we're going to, this is a 330 ohms resistor. So we're going to use number 1, and let's use number 1 and 7. Number 1 and 7. So it's connected to number 1 and 7. After putting it to number 1 and 7, the next part we want to connect is this. The long side of the LED, we want to put it to this line connecting to internally to the resistor, which is number 7. So the long side is going to number 7, which is the positive side, and the short side we will put it at number 8. So anything along this line will be okay. So we just do 7. Make sure you see the long side. Long side is going to 7. Short side is going to 8. So that way. So after putting it that way, we have the last wire. The last wire now goes like this, and it goes back to the ground, and we will have finished our connections. So that one, we're tapping it directly from pin number 8. After tapping it from pin number 8, we just come and note that G and D is just directly next to our pin number 13. So just go to the next pin next to pin number 13 and just put it there, put it in. So our circuit is complete. And yeah, it's at number 13. So these are the things, you can just put them aside. Of course, the next step we want to do is connecting this A to B cable. This side goes to the Arduino, and this side will go to the Chromebook. For this project, we'll be using a Chromebook. And for the next, in the next video, we will now connecting to the computer and now write a program for it and program. So that's how you connect everything. It will just be plugged to the computer, and in our next video, we will do the programming part of our LED. See you in the next video of our Blink LED circuit. See you in the next video.